Hi friends, welcome back. In this video, we are going to be talking about 2_CSV of parameters, what we discussed earlier, and this is an extension to the earlier video. So in this video, how to export null values with a particular value by using 2_CSV. Then we are going to be export a particular set of columns, not all the columns. So whatever the columns we require, we are going to be export those columns. Post that, so how to rename columns and how to rename a particular column, then how to add a new column, then how to delete a column from the data frame. Okay, so let's see, and we'll start our practicals now. So as usual, go to your Anaconda Navigator, launch your Jupyter Lab. Then once open the Jupyter Lab, here we are going to be start our coding. So first, import your pandas as PD. Now, so first I'm going to be reading my data. So core_sales equal to PD dot read underscore CSV. So just pass your path. So now just take your path of the file, then along with your file name, India underscore core underscore sales dot txt. So just try to execute this one with your data frame. Right, so we get all the data. So in this data, I'm going to be represent null values. I mean, any underscore values, I'm going to be replace one of the value as a null value. So I'm placing 19.9 as a null value. Right, just try to execute it now. So you can see a null value here. And if you can see the difference between previous data frame and current data frame, I have added price of each car maker. So this is for example price. Let's say Toyota car is around $12K. Volkswagen is $14K. So it's like that. I just added some prices over here. Right. Now, so I do have my car underscore sales data frame. So now I would like to export my data frame. So type your same car underscore sales dot 2_CSV. Now just pass your path over here. So as it is path, I'm trying to taking the same path, then modified underscore data dot CSV file. Right. So if I'm placing index equal to false, right, just try to execute this one and go back and check your data here. And if you can see here, my index is not visible now. Also, when there's a null value, it is default placing a null value over here because this percentage market share is currently a null value. Instead of passing a null value, if you want to pass a particular value like -1, 0, or your particular whatever the value you want to place instead of null value, so we can represent that value. So any underscore represent. Null value is represent value. By passing, let's say I'm passing -1 here. So I'm passing here a -1 value where there is a null value. So let's try to execute this one and just refresh your data. See here now, I can see -1 value. So in this way, we can go ahead and replace our null values with a default value while exporting data into a flat file. So if you want to do with some other values also, that can be work. Let's say I'm trying to pass here 12090, then 870, then 352. I'm trying to pass multiple values as a list. Try to execute this one. You can see some null values, and here then you can see it here. So when you're trying to execute this one, then you can go ahead and see that. See here, when there is a null value, it will replace with -1. It's a default value. Right. So while exporting the data, I do not want all the data. So I need only a particular set of columns. Let's say my columns are only 2 columns only. Let's say I'm trying to take year column here, then I'm trying to take price. I don't want to export only 2 columns. If you want to export 2 columns, just put if columns equal to the list of the columns. You can mention all the columns or the required columns, whatever you require. So just try to execute it now and refresh your data now. See here, I get only year price data. So in this way, we can export particular columns. Right. Next thing is, so how we are going to be rename our column names after importing the data into pandas. Right. So to display all your columns, call_sales your data frame dot columns. Just execute this one. See here, you can see all the columns: year, make, quantity, percentage, and market share. So if you want to rename your columns, let's say I'm trying to rename all my column names. So just place your call_sales data frame dot columns. Now you need to pass all your column names here as a list. Let's say for the first column, I'm going to be replacing it as year of manufacturing. Second one, maker. So manufacturer. Third one, I'm taking it as sales underscore quantity. Then fourth one, market share. I'm trying to replacing it as market share. Fifth one, price of vehicle. Right. So I'm passing all those values as the columns to this particular data frame by using a simple function columns. Right. So I'm replacing my data frame with a function columns by passing the column names. So these column names will override with the existing column names. Right. Now try to execute this one. And now you can see your column names here. See here, year of manufacturing, manufacturer, sales quantity, market share, and price vehicle. Instead of doing that, you can execute your data frame. See here, you can see the renamed columns. Right. So if you don't want to rename all the columns, but if you want to rename only a particular column, then how can we do that? Right. See here, we are going to be renaming with a particular column. Call_sales. So for renaming, we are going to be use a rename. So what we are trying to rename? Columns. Right. We are going to rename columns. So to rename your columns, first we need to pass the existing column name. What is our existing column name? Let's say I'm trying to take this one first, year of manufacturing. This I'm going to be replacing with year only. Right. I'm going to be replacing with year only. So once you are done with this, you want to append this one to the call_sales. Right. You want to append this to the call_sales. To do that, we have to pass other parameter in place. Is nothing but it is going to be overriding this particular data frame. In place should be true. Right. Just try to execute this one. Now you can execute columns. See here, my column name got changed to the year now. So you can see the data frame directly. See here, year. Earlier that was year of manufacturing. This is how we can replace a particular column. Now, let's say for example, I would like to calculate or I would like to derive a new column based on sales quantity and price of vehicle. So let's say for example, I would like to calculate total revenue generated. That is sales quantity into the price of the vehicle, right? So to do that, I have some null values over here, right? I'm going to be removing that first of all. Right. So just try to execute it now so I can get all the values now. So I do have my car underscore sales has all the values. So this is will change all the columns because I have re-executed my first one. So this will import your original headers. So that's why you can see change the columns here. Now, when you execute car underscore sales, you will get new data, right? So now I want to derive a new column. So let's say car underscore sales. This is our data frame. Now, so what is the column you want to derive? Let's say I'm trying to derive, my column name is revenue. Right. So how do we want to derive this one? So I want to calculate the quantity and price. So every car price is $12,090 into 2884 quantity. Then it will get the total revenue of my company, right? To do that, so first what we need quantity, right? We need to get the quantity first, right? So this will get my column quantity from car underscore sales data frame. Now, and this is going to be multiplied by car underscore sales dot price. Now, these two multiplications will go and save in a new column revenue. Right, if you can see here, I'm trying to derive a new column revenue, car underscore sales revenue, and the values I'm assigning into that is car underscore sales dot quantity into car underscore sales dot price. Nothing but your data frame quantity into data frame price. So just try to execute it now, and you can look at your data. See here, my revenue column got generated. Now total revenue would be this one now based on my price and quantity. So in this way, you can generate a new columns or deriving a new columns, right? So now how to delete a column? See, my revenue, I do not, after completion of my calculations and everything, I do not require revenue. Now I would like to drop my column revenue. How can we do that? To drop or delete a column from the data frame, you will need to mention delete your data frame, right? Then just pass your column name, right? Now try to execute this one, and you can execute car underscore sales data frame now. See here, now my revenue column got deleted from the data frame. So this is how we are going to be delete a column. Thank you guys. You can watch the series and you can subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to be upload very advanced in pandas by using string manipulations going forward. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, just comment over there. I'll answer your questions. Bye bye.